If anything were wanting to excite public scorn, the author could not fail doing so by the manner in which he alludes to the Countess Bertrand in page 49. I do not complain of such repeated efforts to vilify and degrade the sex, for in the estimation of Englishmen they return with tenfold weight on the calumniator's own head. It is, however, no more than a common act of justice to say that the assertions with respect to the above lady are no less foreign to truth than disgraceful to their author. When I add that in addition to Madame Bertrand's being very generally considered as an uncommonly fine woman, her dress and manners are of the most elegant and fascinating description, what will the reader think of a writer who could hazard to expression to which I have been thus called upon to reply? The nature of her application to Dr. Verling, if ever induced to make one, which I disbelieve in toto, will be no doubt fully explained on some full future occasion. The total indifference of all the inhabitants as to Bonaparte's movements or pursuits could, if the statement contained a particle of truth, be very easily accounted for. As to his movements, since Sir Hudson Lowe's arrival, Napoleon has never been out of Longwood grounds, except once on or about the 4th of May, 1816. Under such circumstances, what portion of the inhabitants was there in a condition to make any observation of his movements? The reason for his name not being mentioned may be traced to the following declaration of Sir Thomas Reed, viz., that no person had any business to mention Bonaparte's name, or to make him a subject of conversation, much less presume to pass their observations upon any restrictions which the governor might think it proper to inflict upon him, as he, Bonaparte, was outlawed by the act of Congress, and that no person had any business to speak to any of his followers, who by their own consent were subjected to the same restrictions as him. The effect of such a declaration, coming as it did from a governor whose power is almost unlimited, may be readily conceived, even by those who have only heard how that power has been executed. Though the public papers and official communications win the tirade in page 52 and its accompanying quotation from J.B. Rousseau are compared with the author's declaration about veracity in page 3 and the following passage, which is introduced immediately after the above eloquent Morceau. But I entered St. Helena. I commenced my notes on what I saw influence prepossessed in favor of insulted fallen greatness and pitying Napoleon. It is scarcely possible for the dispassionate reader to avoid applying one of this writer's own mottos to such tergiversation. Un mensonge aussi doit justement vérité. Je devrais faire ici parler la vérité of a lie so irritating. I have to say here the truth, having devoted a few pages to abusing the collection of memoranda to which Sir Thomas Reed's letter to Count Bertrand gave rise, and dwelt with a peculiar emphasis on his humanity, tenderness, and love of truth. The author renews his favorite topic by once more launching out in praise of the comforts and situation of Longwood. These panegyrics are accompanied by a view so beautified and embellished that it has excited both laughter and ridicule on the part of several competent judges, whose opinions I made a point of asking on the subject. Here I beg leave to repeat that the building represented in the above view was not in existence at the time he left St. Helena, when the foundation had been only just laid, and like others who labor in the same honorable vocation, by confounding dates and occurrences, he taxes Napoleon with a want of truth in asserting that the new house was not commenced, although the memoranda to which he alludes were written on the 25th of April, 1818, and on my departure from St. Helena on the 2nd of August following, not a stone of the foundation had been laid. Bonaparte's favorite valet, according to the author, invariably sleeps in an inner closet. Now, this is another misrepresentation, as a person alluded to. Marchand never sleeps there. Saint-Denis and Novares, second valets de chambre, alternately keep watch in a hall leading from the bathroom to the common passage of the house, and Marchand sleeps in an attic. In page 59, line 1, Sir Hudson Lowe's apologist commences his attacks upon me by a direct falsehood. He asserts that I was the volunteer surgeon of the Bellerophon who accompanied Bonaparte to St. Helena, when the fact is that the appointment was not of my own asking, but accepted in consequence of advice to that effect from the Right Honorable Admiral Lord Keith, whose words, when he sent for and recommended me to reply with Count Bertrand's application for that purpose, were, "It is not my power to order you to accept of it, as it is out of the naval service, and it is a business altogether extraordinary and must be voluntary on your part. But I, as commander-in-chief, will authorize you to accept of it. I advise you most strongly to do so, as I am convinced the government will be obliged to you, and it is a situation which may be held with propriety and honor by an Englishman.